What if I told you that the very thing you're desperately holding onto is the exact reason your manifestations aren't coming to life? What if the universe has been waiting for you to release your grip, not tighten it? Right now, as you're listening to this, there's something in your life that you've been pushing for, forcing, trying to control. And it's been slipping further away from you with each desperate attempt. There's a profound secret that most people miss entirely about manifestation, something that ancient wisdom keepers understood but modern spiritual teachings have diluted into oversimplified concepts. The universe doesn't respond to your desperation. It responds to your trust. It doesn't deliver to your fear. It delivers to your faith. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to let go in a way that creates such powerful energetic alignment that the universe has no choice but to deliver, and deliver fast. This isn't about giving up or becoming passive. This is about understanding the quantum mechanics of desire, the energetic blueprint of manifestation, and the paradoxical truth that when you release attachment, you actually magnetize what you want with unstoppable force. By the end of this message, you'll understand why your current approach might be working against you, and you'll have the exact framework to transform your relationship with manifestation forever. If you're feeling like this message found you at exactly the right moment, if something deep inside you is already saying yes to what I'm sharing, consider subscribing to this channel. The universe might be using this space to deliver the insights you've been asking for, and when you subscribe, you're essentially telling the universe you're ready for more of these alignments. The first thing you need to understand is that attachment and desire are two completely different energetic frequencies. Desire is expansion. It's your soul recognizing its infinite potential and pointing you toward growth. Attachment is contraction. It's your ego trying to control how and when that potential unfolds. The universe can feel the difference between these frequencies instantly, and it responds accordingly. Think about water for a moment. When you cup your hands tightly, trying to hold onto as much water as possible, what happens? It squeezes through your fingers and escapes. But when you cup your hands gently, creating a natural vessel, the water stays. Your desires work the same way. The tighter you grip, the more you push them away. The gentler your hold, the more naturally they flow to you. Most people make the mistake of thinking that letting go means not caring anymore, but that's not what we're talking about here. True spiritual detachment isn't indifference, it's trust. It's the difference between a parent who helicopter parents their child out of fear and a parent who guides their child with love and trust in their journey. One energy repels, the other attracts. There's something happening in the quantum field when you shift from attachment to trust that science is only beginning to understand. Your thoughts and emotions create measurable electromagnetic frequencies, and these frequencies interact with the quantum field in ways that directly influence probability and synchronicity. When you operate from attachment, you're broadcasting a frequency of lack, scarcity, and desperation. The universe, being a mirror of your inner state, reflects that energy back to you. But when you shift into trust, something magical happens. You begin broadcasting the frequency of having, of knowing, of confident expectation. You're no longer vibrating at the frequency of someone who lacks what they want. You're vibrating at the frequency of someone who knows their desires are already on their way. This shift changes everything at a quantum level. Here's what most people don't realize. The universe is constantly responding to the story you're telling yourself about your desires. If your internal story is "I need this so badly, what if it doesn't happen, I can't be happy without it," then you're instructing the universe to keep your desires just out of reach. You're literally programming delay and frustration into your experience. But when your internal story shifts to "I've planted the seeds, I've done my part, and I trust in the perfect timing of the universe," you're giving the universe permission to orchestrate circumstances in ways your logical mind could never imagine. You're stepping out of the driver's seat and allowing the infinite intelligence of the universe to navigate the how and when. The ancient Vedic tradition has a term for this, Ishvara Pranidhana, which translates to surrender to the divine will. It's not about being passive, it's about aligning your personal will with the cosmic will. It's about recognizing that your desires aren't separate from a universe's plan for you. They're actually how the universe communicates your next level of growth and expansion. When you truly understand this, letting go becomes not a sacrifice but a celebration. You're not giving up on your dreams. You're graduating into a relationship with manifestation that's based on partnership with the universe rather than fighting against it. You're moving from the exhausting energy of trying to force doors open to the graceful energy of walking through doors that open for you. There's a reason why some of the most successful manifestors in history, people like Oprah Winfrey, who often speaks about surrender, or athletes like Michael Jordan, who talked about getting out of his own way, understood this principle instinctively. They learned that peak performance and manifestation both require the same fundamental shift, from trying harder to trusting deeper. If this is resonating with something you've been experiencing in your own life, if you're recognizing patterns where your attachment might have been blocking your flow, then subscribing to this channel is a way of saying yes to more insights like this. It's a way of telling the universe that you're ready to receive guidance through whatever channels serve your highest good. Now let's talk about what true letting go actually looks like in practice, because this is where most people get confused. Letting go isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice to trust rather than control. And there are specific signs that indicate when you're moving from attachment into true spiritual surrender. The first sign is that you stop checking for evidence of your manifestation constantly. When you're truly in the energy of letting go, you're not frantically looking for signs that your desire is coming. You're not analyzing every synchronicity, wondering if it means something, or getting anxious when you don't see immediate movement. Instead, you have an inner knowing that what's meant for you is already in motion, whether you can see it or not. This doesn't mean you become unaware or stop noticing synchronicities. Actually, the opposite happens. When you stop desperately searching for signs, real signs become much more obvious. It's like when you stop straining to hear something, and suddenly you can hear it clearly. The universe's communication becomes clearer when you're not drowning it out with the noise of your anxiety. The second sign is that you start enjoying the journey more than fixating on the destination. When you're attached to an outcome, every moment that you don't have that outcome feels like suffering. You're living in a constant state of not yet, which is actually programming more not yet into your experience. But when you let go, you remember that your life is happening now, not when your desires manifest. This shift is crucial because joy and gratitude in the present moment are some of the highest vibrational frequencies you can emit. When you're genuinely enjoying your life as it is while also having clear desires for growth, you're sending a message to the universe that says, "I'm already fulfilled, and I'm ready for even more fulfillment." This is magnetic energy at its finest. The third sign is that you stop trying to control the how and when. This might be the most challenging aspect for many people, especially those who are used to making things happen through effort and planning. But there's a profound difference between inspired action and forced action. Inspired action comes from a place of trust and flows naturally from your inner guidance. Forced action comes from a place of fear and tries to manipulate circumstances. When you're truly letting go, you'll find that opportunities and ideas come to you in ways you never could have planned. You'll receive insights in meditation, meet exactly the right person at exactly the right time, or discover a path forward that's more elegant and efficient than anything you could have strategized. This is the universe's intelligence working through your life, but it can only do so when you create space for it by releasing your death grip on how things should unfold. The fourth sign is that you develop what I call outcome independence. This means you become genuinely okay with your desires manifesting in a different form than you originally imagined, or even not manifesting at all, if that serves your highest good. This isn't about lowering your standards or settling. It's about trusting that the universe can see the bigger picture of your life in ways you cannot. Sometimes what we think we want is actually a smaller version of what the universe wants to give us. Sometimes our specific vision is limiting the grander possibility that's trying to emerge. When you develop outcome independence, you're essentially saying to the universe, "This is what I desire, or something even better for my highest good." This opens up possibilities you couldn't even imagine from your current vantage point. The fifth and most profound sign is that you start receiving what you need before you even ask for it. This is when you know you've truly mastered the art of surrender. You'll find that resources, opportunities, people and experiences show up in your life in perfect timing, often before you even realize you need them. It's as if the universe is anticipating your needs and fulfilling them before they even become conscious desires. This level of flow doesn't happen overnight, but it's available to anyone who's willing to practice true surrender consistently. It requires developing a deep trust in the benevolent intelligence of the universe, even when your logical mind can't understand what's happening or why. But here's something even deeper that most people miss. Letting go isn't just about your specific desires. It's about letting go of your attachment to being the one who makes things happen. It's about surrendering the ego's need to be in control and allowing your higher self, in partnership with universal intelligence, to orchestrate your life. This is perhaps the most radical shift you can make as a human being. We're conditioned from childhood to believe that we have to make everything happen through our own effort, that if we're not constantly pushing and striving, nothing good will come to us. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how manifestation actually works. You are not separate from the universe trying to get the universe to give you things. You are the universe experiencing itself through the lens of your individual consciousness. Your desires aren't foreign requests you're making to an outside force. They're the universe's way of evolving and expanding through your unique perspective and experience. When you truly get this, letting go becomes natural because you realize you're not giving up control to something outside yourself. You're surrendering the limited control of your ego mind to the infinite intelligence of your true nature. You're not losing power, you're accessing a power so vast that your individual will could never contain it. This is why masters throughout history have spoken about surrender as the ultimate spiritual practice. It's not about becoming weak or passive, it's about becoming aligned with a force so powerful that your individual efforts pale in comparison. It's about becoming a conscious collaborator with the creative force of the universe itself. Now there's a practical aspect to this that I want to address, because surrender without action can become spiritual bypassing, and action without surrender can become exhausting. The key is learning to act from inspiration rather than desperation, to move when you feel called to move and rest when you feel called to rest. True aligned action feels effortless, even when it's challenging. It has a quality of flow to it, as if you're being carried by a current rather than swimming upstream. This doesn't mean it's always easy. Sometimes the universe calls us to step outside our comfort zones, but it feels right at a deep level. You know you're taking aligned action when it energizes you rather than depleting you, when it feels like expansion rather than contraction. The universe communicates with you through your body, your emotions, your dreams, your synchronicities, and your intuition. When you let go of trying to figure everything out with your mind and start listening to these more subtle forms of guidance, you'll be amazed at how clearly the universe can direct your steps. Your body, in particular, is an incredibly sophisticated guidance system. When you think about taking a certain action, notice how your body responds. Does it feel light and expansive, or heavy and contracted? Does it feel like a yes in your chest and belly, or does something feel off? Your body is constantly giving you information about what's aligned for you and what isn't. Your emotions are also a powerful guidance system. Emotions that feel good, joy, excitement, peace, love, gratitude, are indicating that you're in alignment with your higher self and your desires. Emotions that feel bad, fear, anger, resentment, desperation, are indicating that you've moved out of alignment and it's time to recalibrate. This doesn't mean you should never feel challenging emotions. They're part of the human experience, and they often carry important information. But when you notice yourself stuck in low vibrational emotions about your desires, it's a sign that attachment has crept back in and it's time to return to trust and surrender. But here's something crucial that most people miss. Surrender isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice you return to over and over again. Your ego mind is designed to try to regain control, especially when it comes to things that are important to you. This isn't a failure of your spiritual practice. It's a normal part of the human experience. The key is to notice when you've slipped back into attachment mode and gently return to surrender. It's like meditation. You don't judge yourself for having thoughts. You simply notice them and return to your breath. In the same way, you don't judge yourself for slipping back into control mode. You simply notice it and return to trust. This practice of returning to surrender again and again actually strengthens your ability to stay in that energy for longer periods. It's like building a muscle. Each time you choose trust over control, each time you choose faith over fear, you're strengthening your capacity to live from this higher frequency. And here's where the magic really starts to accelerate. As you develop this capacity for surrender, you'll notice that the universe begins to respond more quickly to your desires. It's not that the universe was withholding from you before, it's that you've removed the energetic interference that was blocking the flow. Think of it like tuning a radio. When there's static and interference, you can't hear the music clearly. But as you fine-tune the frequency, the signal becomes clearer and clearer until the music comes through in perfect clarity. Surrender is the process of fine-tuning your energetic frequency to match the frequency of your desires. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly, while others struggle for years with the same goals. It's not that the universe plays favorites, it's that some people have learned to get out of their own way energetically, while others are still creating resistance through attachment and control. The beautiful paradox is that as you become less attached to your specific desires, those desires often manifest more quickly and in more wonderful ways than you could have imagined. But even more importantly, you develop a relationship with life itself that is based on trust, flow, and co-creation rather than struggle, force, and separation. If you're recognizing yourself in this description, if you're seeing how attachment might have been creating resistance in your own manifestation process, I want you to share in the comments. What's one area of your life where you know you need to practice letting go? Sometimes naming it and sharing it with this community is the first step toward transformation. Your willingness to be vulnerable about your attachments might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Now let's go deeper into what happens in your energy field when you make this shift from attachment to surrender, because understanding the mechanics can help you navigate this process more skillfully. When you're operating from attachment, your energy field becomes constricted and chaotic. You're broadcasting mixed signals to the universe: desire mixed with fear, wanting mixed with doubt, hope mixed with desperation. This creates what quantum physicists call interference patterns in your energetic field, which literally cancel out or weaken the signal you're sending about what you want to manifest. But when you shift into genuine surrender, your energy field becomes coherent and powerful. You're broadcasting a clear, consistent signal that says, "I know what I desire, I trust in the process, and I'm open to receiving." This coherent energy field is what allows synchronicities to occur, opportunities to appear, and manifestations to unfold with what seems like miraculous timing. There's actually a scientific basis for this in the field of heart coherence research. Scientists at the HeartMath Institute have discovered that when you're in a state of genuine trust and appreciation, which are key components of surrender, your heart rhythm becomes coherent and organized. This coherent heart rhythm creates a coherent electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body and literally influences the quantum field around you. This isn't just metaphysical theory, it's measurable science. When you're in heart coherence, you're more intuitive, you make better decisions, you're more creative, and you literally attract more positive experiences. You're not just thinking differently about manifestation, you're changing the actual electromagnetic signature you're broadcasting into the quantum field. But here's what's even more fascinating. When you're in this coherent state, you also become more sensitive to the universe's communication. You start noticing synchronicities more clearly, you receive intuitive insights more frequently, and you become aware of opportunities that were always there but that you couldn't see when you were in the static of attachment and anxiety. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize practices like meditation, prayer, and contemplation. These practices naturally move you into coherent states where you can commune more clearly with universal intelligence. They create the inner stillness necessary to hear the universe's guidance and to feel the subtle energy shifts that indicate when you're in alignment. However, you don't need to spend hours in meditation to access this state. You can cultivate it in moments throughout your day by simply returning to breath, gratitude, and trust. Every time you consciously choose to let go of trying to control an outcome, every time you choose trust over worry, you're literally rewiring your nervous system and your energetic field. There's something profound that happens when you make this practice consistent. You begin to live in what I call the surrender flow. This is a state where surrender becomes your default response rather than something you have to remember to do. You start naturally trusting the process, naturally allowing things to unfold, naturally receiving guidance and acting on it. In this state, manifestation doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like a natural expression of your alignment with life itself. You have desires, you hold them lightly, you take inspired action, and you allow the universe to orchestrate the details. You become a conscious collaborator in the creation of your life, rather than someone trying to force outcomes through will alone. But perhaps the most beautiful aspect of mastering surrender is that it transforms your entire relationship with uncertainty. Instead of seeing uncertainty as something to be feared and controlled, you begin to see it as the space where infinite possibilities exist. You realize that when you don't know exactly how something will unfold, it means the universe has room to surprise you with something even better than what you had planned. This shift in how you relate to uncertainty is life-changing because uncertainty is a constant in human experience. When you can be comfortable with not knowing exactly how or when your desires will manifest, you become free to enjoy the journey. You can appreciate where you are now while also being excited about where you're going. Most people spend their lives fighting uncertainty, trying to create security and predictability. But the ultimate security comes from knowing that you're held and supported by an intelligent universe that's always conspiring for your highest good, even when you can't see how. This is true spiritual security, not the false security of trying to control circumstances, but the deep security of trusting in your fundamental connection to the source of all creation. When you live from this place of trust, you'll find that what you used to call problems become adventures. What you used to call setbacks become redirections. What you used to call delays become perfect timing. Your entire relationship with your life experience transforms because you're no longer fighting reality, you're dancing with it. This doesn't mean you become passive or that you stop having preferences. You can still have strong desires and take decisive action. But you hold it all lightly, knowing that you're part of a larger intelligence that's orchestrating your life in ways more magnificent than your individual mind could conceive. And here's the ultimate paradox. When you truly let go of needing to control the outcome, you often discover that you have more influence over your experience than you ever imagined. Not through force and manipulation, but through alignment and trust. You become a magnet for experiences, people, and opportunities that match your highest good. This is mastery, not the mastery of controlling circumstances, but the mastery of aligning with the flow of life itself. It's the mastery of being simultaneously powerful and surrendered, intentional and trusting, focused and flexible. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to feel into what would be possible for you if you truly embraced this level of surrender. What would your life look like if you trusted the universe as much as you trust gravity to keep your feet on the ground? What would become available to you if you released the exhausting burden of trying to control how and when your desires unfold? The invitation is here for you now. Not to give up on your dreams, but to hold them in a new way. Not to stop taking action, but to take action from inspiration rather than desperation. Not to become passive, but to become powerfully aligned with the creative force of the universe itself. Your desires are not random wants. They're the universe calling you toward your next level of growth and expression. Trust them. Trust the process. And most importantly, trust yourself to navigate this journey with grace, knowing that you're supported by an intelligence so vast and loving that your logical mind could never fully comprehend it. The universe is ready to deliver to you in ways that will astound you. The question is, are you ready to let go like this and allow it to happen? Tell me in the comments, what would you be willing to surrender today to create space for the universe to surprise you with something even better than what you've been trying to control? Your answer might be the key that unlocks a new level of flow and manifestation in your life, and it might be exactly what someone else in this community needs to hear to take their next step forward. The invitation is here. The universe is listening. And your desires are already on their way.